All right. And we are live. Flashpoint Ebontis. What is going on, man? How you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good this morning. Feels like a little tamer week in the world of Destiny, but Red Dead will keep you busy if you feel like diving into that. There's so much to do in there. I feel like I've honestly barely scratched the surface. I've played a few hours of that because I was just trying to go back and forth in between, but just kind of working on grinding. Gambit's out there this week. We'll talk about that a little bit, and just overall enjoying catching up on the was it Richard? Is that right? Richard Haug?
Hogue. Oh, you up to Hogue.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's good stuff. Honestly, when you were going through your top 5 with him and he had said Chrono Trigger, I even gave like a euro in the car because I was just like, that's my jam. Chrono Trigger's like gotta be in my top like couple. So that was cool. But yeah, Iron Lord's podcast, that was good interview there, and definitely some good insights, especially into legal sides of things. So that telltale stuff and everything. So yeah, nice guest on that one.
Much appreciated, sir. Yes, I was actually talking with Lord Hogue this morning. He was revising his top 10 of the year. Surprisingly, he had Red Dead Redemption barely making his top 10. So Hogue is funny because he likes to. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't do things for shock value. Like he believes what he says. But I was questioning, why he had Red Dead so low, and he just couldn't get over the controls, and he just like,
I mean, it's not it. After playing even just a little bit that I have, it's not for everybody. I mean, I can tell you that because it is going to be a slower game, stories involved, things like that. I have a buddy of mine. He's out of town for vacation for a little bit, and he's probably going to come back and he'll probably play it. But I have imagined he's going to just try and power through it, not really pay attention to the story, and probably just feel like it's not maybe the most amazing or doesn't compare to GTA because it is a slower game for sure. Absolutely. I sat there and played poker for like 25 minutes.
You can get distracted, right?
You can absolutely. Yeah, I was like, so like anytime I've sat down for a couple of those little mini games, sorry guys, Red Dead tangent apparently start this thing. But I just sat down and like when you're in the base camp, you can play dominoes. And I sat down, I was like, all right, I'm gonna win I want to win the whole match just to like completely win one. It took a while.
Yes.
And then when I got to poker, I was like, all right, I'm taking all these guys' money. I'm gonna I want to see if they get mad or anything like that. And then I cleaned them up, but it took some time. So I was like, I just sat there and was like playing poker, and I was even on stream. I was like, this has to be exhilarating. It's like watching poker on ESPN, but even worse. So true. It's just there are a lot of distractions in that game, but I can understand like it's not for everyone for sure.
Right.
There's no question. Like if you say, hey, I mean that's kind of the thing when you say. And that was one of the things I caught your guys' podcast last week when you guys were talking about a masterpiece. Masterpieces are different for everybody, and perfection is one of those things nobody's going to hit. Now, some people are like, hey, is it a 10 out of 10? In certain aspects, yeah. It's like if you really enjoy it, like you look at the graphics, you look at like the story, the voice acting, stuff like that, really cool. Gameplay sometimes feels a little slow, things like, shooting. But do you also like some people give it, a pass because it's a Rockstar game for one.
Right.
And two, you go, is it Old West? And that is the intention of it. So sometimes you have to put yourself in like the shoes of the developer. So that's one of those pieces as well when it comes to Destiny. It's like we have to put ourselves in their shoes. And there's a couple pieces I want to get to later in Bungie's decisions about things. So just kind of one of those. Always take everything with a grain of salt, and if you enjoy it, play it. If you don't.
Yeah, no, listen, absolutely. And you were quite feisty in the chat, I must say, when that subject came up about perfect 10 scores for a game and stuff like that. Listen, I get where you guys are coming from. I think it just comes down to I think what happens is developers start to gain just these great reputations, and they just have like certain devs just have that standard of excellence that you're used to, so that everything else is just so amazing that if there's any little nitpick, generally for the most part, it'll get overlooked, as it won't be harped on as much as maybe, let's say, for example, a newer game that comes out and kind of has, some flaws off the top. But listen, I get what listen, certain games are not for certain people. If you're not into, cinematic storytelling, deep, rich character building, Red Dead is all that, man. Like Red Dead is very, very unique in the way it does certain things, and graphically it's beautiful. But if you're into this like fast pace, balls to the wall thing, it's not like that every time. There's your gunfights, there's your things, that kind of thing. So it was interesting, man. But salute to Hogue. We had him on. Oh, your boy Butt Fuel's in the chat.
That name kills me every time, man.
Oh, I had to say his name,
just
bro.
Like I don't know. I mean, if that's how you get around, then just go ahead and
Salute, man. He's got everybody. He's got my attention when I see him pop through. But salute, obviously salute the Lord chat. But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
man.
Both of you guys at YouTube and Twitch. Thank you guys for joining us live this morning. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the pre-show. Tried to do that to give you a little heads up that we'll be out there and getting you started. But this is a Destiny podcast, despite how this thing actually did start.
Yeah, and speaking of which,
so, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just pretty much gonna say, you know, for me, it's been real fun. It's been real fun for me in Destiny. I had I kind of held off into patch 2.05. I don't know if we're gonna get too deep into it now, but I kind of held off on playing until it dropped. And man, some fun things happened, man. You know, I got the meatball to spawn.
So describe your meatball experience, because honestly, like, especially up until this point, when everybody's been seeing it, it's been a thing. I've seen stories about it and stuff like that. So give me yours, because I had mine last week and it was crazy.
It was so, like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I really didn't watch anybody stream on what happens when the meatball comes out. I never really watched it because I was just like, you know, I was just so, like, what's the word when you're just like, you're so beat down that nothing won't drop for you. I'm like, yeah, that kind of thing doesn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was playing, and I believe the first round we pretty much washed the other team. We got our primeval out of there, so it was a run round lead. I'm just thinking everything is normal, and then, you know, I'm doing my defensive role. You know, I got my well of radiance, all that good stuff. I'm primarily picking off invaders and controlling blockers that they send on our side, and letting those other guys kind of scout out, you know. And yeah, next thing you know, we got the 75 modes, primeval comes, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is that?
You're like, this is new.
That's the people. So it just threw me off, and I mini panicked, and then I ran up to it, slapped it, trench barrel, escalation protocol shotgun. Then I didn't have any more. Then I died. Someone res me. I threw the well down before I died though, so it kind of helped the team. And then we just like ganged up on it, and it was out of there. It was out of there pretty quick. So I was very fortunate. Like, I had some randos that literally helped me save the day, you know, with the whole well. But it was fun. It was fun. I got to drop. I'm like, oh man, this is great. Like, that's the last thing I expected to happen. So it was a good Destiny week. Besides that, I have my finally Forsaken exotic.
What?
Man, I was pleased. I could not believe it. It was off a public event, and it was the Controversy hold. And I was just so happy. I was just like, I don't even know what this feels like. Like, this is weird. It feels like D1, right? So yeah, man, that was my experience. You know, this week, doing a lot of other playing with other modes and stuff like that. But, you know, pretty much for you, how has it been? I know we're going to get into 2.05, but how has it been for you, like, personally, 205? Like, anything you've noticed per se? You know,
not too much so far. I've been working on kind of some solo grinds on things for Nightfall, stuff like that. So I've been working on stuff that probably hasn't seen some drastic changes, I guess. I had the meatball, but sheer luck, I know, because it was a really low drop right before. I had that moment before, so I know that one was kind of one of the bigger ones. But overall, nothing quite as crazy in the patch. I know there's changes, and we'll get to them, but overall, just some fun stuff. Got a first 100K solo Nightfall, so knocked that one out.
Salute.
Did that one on Arms Dealer. I've got that one pretty much on wraps of kind of what to do in there. Again, shout out to my Crooked Fang with that heavy. So if you're ever going for 100K, by the way, game is a must. And then if you have people with you, go blackout. And then honestly, if you have people with you, you can still probably hit 100K with a buff. So you could even probably run, like, because I ran solo, Void Singe, heavyweight, match game, and blackout. Blackout's a little harder. Some people will run momentum if you're going solo, but either way, if you got a group, biggest thing is just make sure you got enough people to shoot and do it quick. But yeah, that one's overall. I'm working on putting together kind of a solo Hollowed Lair run. There are so many, dude, when you are by yourself on that strike and you get to where, for one, I hate the immune phases on that guy. So annoying. It's just kind of like the teleport outs of the Exodus Crash guy. Same principle. Like, you'll get to a point and it's like gone and gone. And what the hell? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he always immune? But it's when you send them behind the wall for the first time, and basically the entire army of Scorn runs at you. If I'm in the back of the room and I just see them all spawn and run at me, it looks like I was probably a one-man army versus an entire Game of Thrones show. Like, it looks ridiculous with so many ads out there. I'm like staring, I'm like, oh my God. So that one's actually kind of a weird setup for me because I've been running an oddball setup. Because if I'm just if I'm running just to finish it, I'll go pure solar. I'll go solar super. And then I'll go like Sunshot was actually helping on that one, which is, I know, weird sounding, but the explosions chain when you have them all run up a staircase and one explodes and it just goes and you get like 20 guys.
Yes.
That one's a ton of fun. But when I'm by myself, I gotta play match game if I'm going for 100K.
Nice.
So the 100K makes it different because match game makes it tough. So I actually went Solar Singe, but I went Arc Super for the Arc Pulse grenades. I went what the hell did I have my voids up? Oh, I have the Vouchsafe just for a scout rifle for like the 2 void guys.
Nice.
Which honestly, I might even take the void out on a run because it doesn't do me that much benefit. There's 2 void guys in the whole thing.
Question on Vouch. How's Vouch feeling post scout
buff?
Yeah, how's it feeling?
It's better than it was, but I still don't think they're there.
I got something.
That's my opinion.
I got something.
I still don't think scouts are quite good enough. Like,
I got something for you. Trust me when I tell you, man. Don't speak too soon. Yo,
what do you got?
I got a Gambit dropped distant relation. Not even a god roll. It's just like a opening shot, and I believe the other perk is triple tap. Nothing special. I'm gonna tell you right now, my bygones is in trouble. Like, normally my bygones go
seriously,
bro. It hits like a truck. It's so fast, and maybe I don't know if it's the triple tap with the DPS, dude. I haven't been going to Dreaming City. Like, I went to the Dreaming City this whole week. I was in there wrecking things from distance. Like, trust me when I'm telling you, my new flow right now, Huckleberry Masterwork.
Told you about that one.
Yeah, thank you. Salute. I got that ill build, man. Bro, I'm running lightning, Huckleberry Masterwork. So I'm
Tickle Fingers.
Yeah, generating orbs crazy. Then I got like I'm running Crown of Tempest because I don't have Geomap for the Chaos Reach. And so what it is, I'm just constantly getting orbs. Then I got distant relation from anything that Huckleberry can't handle from distance, right? And then it's at that point, pick your heavy of choice. I think I got a good Zenobia rocket launcher roll drop. I got, because those are hacky ones, they track automatically. So it's got the intrinsic tracking with cluster bombs. And I believe the sucky perk is probably like auto loading holster. But back to what I was saying, distant relation, pull that out the box. What's the roll you got on it?
Oh, both of mine are garbage.
What you got?
Moving target and Zen moment.
Bro, bring it out the box. Trust me, I got a trash roll.
Okay for PvP. I still don't know if scout rifles feel right in PvP though. I could see PvE more.
PvE, yes.
PvP less so. The one I was looking at, because I actually saw that I had 2. One of them's firmly planted, auto loading holster, and range. I'm like, garbage, absolute trash. So they're not all good. So yeah, my Gambit drops have been pretty rough so far. My drops have been in other places.
Yeah, I've been very lucky with Gambit with drops for some reason. But yeah, man, I like what you're rolling with, man. I like what you're doing. That sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, we did have some changes. We can honestly just jump into the patch and let's see what we got. So Sandbox first, quick run through. We won't go deep dive on all these. Malfeasance, explosive shadow detonation damage is increased, and the damage against Taken and invaders. And I know some people have reviewed this gun. A couple of people out there have like gone over it again. Is it still any better? Still doesn't feel like it's gonna be meta ending. I mean, I think some people have some fun with it in Gambit for both Taken and the invaders, but generally it seems like it's in the higher rate of fire hand cannons, so it's still not just going to be quite as quick as it needs to be for pretty much anything else. Might have some use in Gambit, but overall nothing amazing. Wish Ender got a few things fixed on it, got some base damage increase, but it's still just, it's a hard hitting bow, but it's a slow bow. So I don't even have it yet. I haven't finished that thing. So
gotcha.
Tracer rifles, those got a lot of perks, kind of unlocked, so auto rifle perks work for those with all your armor. Got a little extra ammo and crucible. They increase sword and fusion rifle damage in PV. I want to try actual fusion rifle damage in PV. I'm kind of curious if it was enough, because sometimes those are a nice, like, just if you're, you can either put like 6 or 7 little bolts into one big guy, or if you have like 3 or 4 thrall coming at you, you can hit quite a few of them as they pass through, but they never felt quite enough. So I'm kind of curious. I still have a tough time believing swords are ever going to have quite the use they did until they get like exotic feels back to them.
Personally. Right. I feel you're going with that.
Proximity grenades now have a stat penalty to blast radius, which makes sense. Reduce the amount of incoming, and then shout out to Fallout Plays. As soon as this came out on Tuesday, dude.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, reduce the amount by which full choke narrows projectile spread, and he's just like facepalm. He just got done doing like shotgun research, and then he's like, oh, all right, research time again. So
did you see the follow-up when he did? Did you see the follow-up?
Yeah, I watched it, and he's like, all right, so now your 2 barrels are full choke and ranged barrel. So yeah, those are your 2 to go for. And then change a couple perk activations, things like that. General fixes, visibility through Titan Banner's shield for allies, which is, kind of a good thing, so you can actually use it. A couple little fixes, Polaris Lance is back to normal, which is good.
Yes.
Light Nail is not getting that. It was actually getting a bonus because it was proccing on 2 shots, not 3. Combatants, couple of the enemies were actually not doing all their abilities, which is something you don't even notice until they're like, oh, by the way, the game is a little easier. Heads up.
Yes, sir.
Have you touched break? So now back to so that's just general stuff. But they brought Breakthrough back as the weekly playlist. Have you touched it yet?
I've touched the initial form of it before it got patched, and
so you haven't touched it this week.
I haven't touched it this week. It's just not for me. I don't know what it is. I got to give it a shot though. I will give it a shot since the changes. I didn't encounter the cheating and the frustrating things I guess players were.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot again. It just right now. Again, the first initial taste didn't really do anything for me. I was very indifferent towards the mode. So, maybe when I give it a shot again. And I think they need to, I don't know, I'm just getting I love my quick play, but I'm just getting a little worn out with just clash control all the time. So I wish maybe they
need a little variety in there.
Yeah, I wish they like a little sneak something in there, and it's just be a good time for like Rift or something to come back. They really just need like a third mode in there to break the monotony of clash control.
Yeah, whether it's Rift, capture the flag, because you've got shooting and then you've got points, but like have an objective that moves. Have an objective that either it's 1 point where it's like a little king of the hill that like moves around the map, so you get some like change to it. Rift is still fun because you got to run in, buckle over that thing, then run it back, and you've got like. I know some people hated Rift, some people loved Rift. It was obviously just like Iron Banner and many things in Crucible. It's better with a team, but we need more, just a little more variety. And it's like, I don't know if they're waiting for certain things or they've just focused more on Gambit per se. Maybe like Crucible kind of got a little split up. But yeah, I'm with you. This one, I haven't tested it this week either. So, caveats aside of my previous experience, I know people got screwed before being like kill farm, and my biggest issue with it before, and they kind of changed it, but it's still the scoring. It's the same thing I heard from everyone. If you get that middle point and you don't get the one in the back, you get nothing.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
That was still like the big issue. Is like if the round ends in a draw, then the match is a tie. So at least you're not going to get stuck in there forever.
Right.
It says if the initial fight over the breaker, the team with the most capture progress will win the breaker if the time runs out. And it's just like, okay, that's fine, but it's just like if that's an issue, then that's kind of like an overall issue with the mode. It feels like, as opposed to like if both of you went back and forth on this one, make that just like kind of your like have all 3 points, but just make the breaker move, because the big issue is when that breaker is taken. And then you have to, if somebody comes in with a super and wipes all 4 of you out, they'll have that point before you can even respawn. And that was kind of the annoying part. So that was the piece for me, is just like, if you were on defense, you could get wrecked so fast. It was rough. I mean, it might take you a while to get over there, but if they orchestrate and they've got supers, you have no chance if your super can't block it, if you can't defend it. So yeah, I'm with you. Still not totally sold.
No, I hear you, man. I absolutely hear you. I'm in the same boat. I think it still needs to get that refinement era. with Breakthrough, and hopefully they can find a new place. I want to shout out Jimbo in the chat, man. Definitely, I miss Mayhem.
I know.
Mayhem. That was so good, and it really kind of saved Vanilla Destiny 2 when they were trying to find their way with
Yep.
Crucible. I remember that mode they brought it back. I'm like, man, this is how powerful we used to feel. Like, you know, it brought those feels back. So yes, Mayhem. I forgot all about that. That definitely needs to come back.
Yeah, I know I read something about Mayhem somewhere, like they're working on it or something's like bug with Mayhem. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Can't remember off top.
I've seen somewhere, either it's Reddit or Twitter or something, that Mayhem is like, we haven't forgotten it. It's just like busted right now. And honestly, I'd be like, I don't care. Just throw it in the mix. Like, just throw that in the weekly rotation. I mean, unless it's busted to the point of, I mean, with that, of all the new supers now, it's going to be insane. I mean, Golden Gun still hurt. But now you're just going to have blade barrages everywhere, chaos reach half across the map. But that's the whole point. Literally, the mode is Mayhem. It's going to be insanity. Go for it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I don't know how busted it is. I mean, if it really is actually just broken for some reason, I understand. But yeah, I'm with you. I miss Mayhem because that's the quick play, and still gets a little sweaty sometimes if you're in a clash match. They get a little long. Sometimes Mayhem is just like veg out, like I want to veg and just like melt stuff, go stupid crazy, and it's just pure fun.
Yes,
that's the piece I miss about Mayhem.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you know, if you're going for Valor and stuff like that, Mayhem matches, you know, they can be a little quicker or crazy and stuff like that. But it's like, if you spend like 5 resets in Mayhem, who cares?
No, absolutely. It was just like you said. It was just veg out, have fun. To me, Mayhem is like the essence of what quick play should be, right? It should just be this non-stressful mode, and you're just shooting it and just with your buds and, you know, just having fun. And I think that definitely needs to come back. So I agree completely.
So I guess at some point I'll have to try Breakthrough this weekend, but not really incentivized to do so. It is honestly like, even if that was even in quick play, words, quick play, like I wouldn't mind actually if it was in both. Like if it went into competitive, but also in quick play, just give us a little variety in the mode. Be like, hey, we're playing Breakthrough, and be like, oh, okay, this one's going to be a little different, because it is, after a while, it's like control, clash, control, clash, 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 control, control, clash, control. It's like, and then even Iron Banner's control, and I love Iron Banner's control. I wish that was it all the time.
Yeah,
it's still the only sets of PvP I play, and there are other game mode types. So. Yeah, I was like, Breakthrough, just throw it in both. I don't think anybody would argue, even if it's like in quick play. Hopefully, you're not going to have those people farming. So,
completely agree, bro. Completely agree.
But Gambit had a lot of changes. I know you've been jumping around there fighting the meatball, so you want to cover these since you've been in it a little more than I have, waiting for the
I've been doing a lot of Gambit. So activities with that. It pretty much Sleeper Simulant now gains the less ammo from heavy crates. That.
They touched your baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. The crew, the Gambit police have come for my boy. They got him. They got him. Having 2 bricks now is such a difference. And even with my little cheat that I thought I was gonna do with, you know, my scavenger linear fusion scavenger arms, not enough, because it has to be off the drop. That means you have to get RNG to get it off a drop for that to take in. So normally I would get the majority of my bricks from just, you know, or standing around the primeval where, you know, that spawns and getting the little ammo bricks that respawn. But 2 is rough, man. 2 is rough. You can't really do much. The most I can do is kind of like counter invade people that come in. And you know, when it comes down to DPS, 2 shots, dude. It's I think R.I.P. to the homie. They got him. They got him. The band police, you heathens. This is what you wanted. So now this is what you get to deal with. You get to deal with the colony coming in when you guys are all clumped up, getting that Queensbreaker's bow. Oh Lord, here that come. And what else I've been dealing with? There's been a couple other little heavies I've been seeing kind of sneak in. But I can say I think Sleeper, they finally. This is more than enough to control it. So that's that. Sword digging the ammo. Heavy went from 12 up from 6 to 12. I played that. I still couldn't get around playing with swords, trying to melt a primeval. I didn't think it felt good. I was using the raid sword, so that's just my experience with that. Fixed an issue where sometimes the portal wouldn't open. I never had that experience before.
Yeah.
Increased the spawn rate of the Ascendant Primeval Servitor. Yes,
There
I
you
felt
go.
that effect. Thank you. That might be
Nice.
absolutely. Gambit Ship and Sparrow no longer guaranteed drops. Quitter protection. Seen someone drop from my match, but I did notice I was able to get a player to come in and kind of take his spot fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Obviously I haven't been dropped yet to see the suspension and quitter penalties and all that good stuff take effect. But yeah, and then the last thing, well, that's the corrupted. But overall, Gambit felt good. I'm playing a lot of it. Yeah, it's definitely different. Without Sleeper doing what it normally does, it's definitely different. I have to now change up, and I'm actually in a bit of a rut. I don't like, what do I do? I can't use my You know what it reminds me of, E? It's similar to when Truth and all rocket launchers basically got the one shot per in Crucible.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you love it,
changed.
Yeah,
it'll change the way you play. I mean,
absolutely.
It was so overbearing. It was to a point of just like, it was sucking the fun out of the mode because it took away the variety. If you have the gun, then everybody's on the same playing field. But you do have to be honest, like, toe sniping someone from cross map, a little broken.
It's supposed to bring fear. Hi.
Okay, but you should also be able to fight back.
I feel you.
They can see through walls and they can be like, pre-charge, okay, here he comes out, bam. Like, there is no, if it was every so often, it would like pulse, or if there was something, but if you can pre-charge that thing perfect to where they peak, and I can't even like take that shot at you, that's the hard part about that, is that like the peeking through walls lets you pre-charge and just instant dead. Like, it was a really hard thing to counter because you're so far, you got to look for them. They may move a little bit, they still know exactly where you are. And that was the thing about it. So, I mean, I played against them. Like, I would kind of peek and peek out, like kind of let them waste the shot and then try and start picking them off with like, because honestly, what I've been invading with lately, just my go figure. I don't even care about anything else. I'll just pick them off with my damn pulse rifle and have fun doing that.
Somebody want us with that too.
Yeah, like, I love that gun. Like, on PC especially, like, people watch my videos and be like, man, how's your recoil that good? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I think it's just PC. And that's what some people have told me. Like, on console, it's definitely got a bigger kick, but mine is truly a laser beam where I'll go across map and stuff like that. But it's still just a point where if I, like, if somebody sees me and they have Sleeper, again, on the defense, like, that I can understand more where it's almost on defense easier. But, man, when it was 4 on offense or people would come in and take a whole team and then still have the amount to melt the boss, it's just like, it's too much.
Yeah, no, I listen. I hear you. I will say this, full disclosure. The first time I had Sleeper Salt, it's funny because I went to invade with one, and the guy was waiting, and he must have the catalyst on his, and I don't know mine.
Faster. Yep.
So we're sitting there, and his class got me out of there. So, and I was salty. I was like, damn, I don't like that.
Yep. Taste your own medicine there, sir. How's that feel?
Yeah, I like it. So that was that. But yeah, that's what I got for Gambit, man. And then obviously, what about this next one with the corrupted strike? What do you feel about that?
Where I mean, I'm just glad they fixed it. So players could go into the corrupted strike with a 6-player fire team. Somehow it was just broken. Not sure how. I don't know if they started it and people would join, or if they would just literally start the strike as a 6 team. I never actually checked that. But yeah, that's just fixed. So now the world of exotics. Now, the one thing I will say, heads up, you're not going to get the exotics faster.
Right.
So they're not changing the drop rate. They're changing what drops when you see one.
Facts.
So when a player receives an exotic, they take into account all exotics the player has found and weight them against exotics they have yet to acquire. It lowers the chances of getting exotics they already own. Exotics the player does not own yet are individually weighted much higher than duplicates. When receiving duplicates, players more likely to earn armor. Now, that is actually a smart way to do that. If you do get a duplicate, which it's still a random roll, but it's not as much, you still have a better chance to get a piece of armor, which benefits you because it's random. Might have different perks. This is probably the smartest one, and this is one of those where you wonder, like, why is it still in the pool? All of these have been taken out of your exotic engram pool. Right. Now, we got Worldline Zero, Ace of Spades, Wish Ender, 1000 Voices, Malfeasance, Lord of Wolves, and Chaperone. Those are all ones you can get from bounties request or specific tasks, not just engrams.
Right.
Sadly, though, I can't think of many other exotic weapons outside of those.
Yeah.
That's most of them, and most of them you get from quests. Like, it
Yes.
was nice when there were some random drops. I mean, there's Queensbreaker. I haven't got that. I still
too.
haven't seen Cerberus. I sometimes forget even
Yeah,
exists.
I forget it exists. Same here.
Yeah, I don't see it very often.
Don't
Never
see
got
it.
like a whole bunch of love. I think it got love when people were like doing the initial,
Yes.
release of Forsaken, but after that, like, no, nothing.
And I hear there's a bug with it right now.
Oh,
So
really?
that it's something that affects the spread that's not working correctly. So that you may even see more of a decreased usage rate until that gets patched.
Good to know.
Yeah, man.
First exotic somebody got after the reset was Tractor Cannon. But then they got Two-Tailed Fox and Borealis after doing the Dreaming City bounties. 10 minutes.
All right. All right.
Okay. Well, Dano, you're crushing it this morning.
Nice.
For the, yeah, that's the one I'll see occasionally. I'll like see an invader go like, I'm like, what the hell? And then Two-Tailed Fox kills him. I'm like, God damn it.
I actually smile when I see it because I'm like, that's kind of cool.
I was like, it's like, I like it. I like that it exists out there and somebody's going for the exotic double, but I was like, I'll just see this little like this little puff of smoke at them. I'm like, what the bam? I'm like, oh man. And it's always that like delayed death for half a second. I'm like, nope, I'm dead.
Yep.
It's always just one of those that catches me like half the time because I don't usually see it. So that one's cool. And the cores. First off, will you ever call them enhancement cores?
Yeah, we get a steroid enhancement, I guess. Listen, man, I got some stuff to say about it. This is all anecdotal, just personal experience. This is, we have to see it in the wild a little bit longer, but I am very impressed. This is just my personal experience. Obviously, the first thing I did, I went through the spider bounties, excuse me, English, and I wanted to see what was giving what. So I picked out a couple, of wanted bounties that I can actually get. Those went pretty good. Now, guess what's the funny thing, Ian?
What?
I get excited for scrapper bounties. Like,
yep, they gave them a purpose.
Yeah, and I also, not only did I notice the scrapper bounties, coming up when they random, they giving you cores as well. I think they stealth buffed.
Absolutely, I know where you're going.
Yep, like when you dismantle things now, I'm getting masterwork cores. I would say 30% of the time, whereas before maybe 10
none.
or 5.
I felt like nothing. Yeah,
exactly.
like I mean, I broke down a bunch of stuff. I'm like, unless it was a year one thing, like masterwork cores and like now mod components, that's a whole different fix. But like the cores, as soon as you say that, I broke down a couple things. I saw one pop. I was like, that's just a normal weapon. What the heck?
Yeah, I was like, what's this?
So yeah, I think they listened a little bit, and they're not saying everything they buffed, but yeah, I think because you're going to be breaking stuff down, you'll get a few more in the breakdowns. It feels like that's got to be something they did. Scrapper bounties, and then there's 6 spider bounties.
Yes,
you can hold more, spend a little more time on the Tangled Shore. So that's kind of one of those ways to use more use of that space, because as you progress away to the Dreaming City, Tangled Shore has less appeal. Now it's kind of more incentive to go back.
Yes, I found myself really getting these spider bounties done, and not only that. Shout out to Par 5 in the chat. He says Bungie hooked us up with the cores, no doubt. But I think that it's like it's not over the top, but it's like a steady 1 or 2 core stream, so that I'm not feeling desperate. Like that was my problem, and lo and behold, guess who's $5.99 now? You know what I mean? Like I'm literally now, like I was able to, all the stuff that I held on that I didn't have cores with, I was getting that now. And I'm just like, okay, I think this is a happy medium. We're not overflowing in them.
Yep.
But if you play the game, you'll get, I'm getting them, like I said, from dismantling stuff. And I really like the scrapper bounties, man, because they're giving you core, they give you shards. It's really helping the low economy guys like me. Will like burn through it materials, So that's what I got to say on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, do I think the whole thing's perfect? I could probably use a little tweaks, but I mean, I'm glad like the subtle buff was there that they didn't say, because there's no way that's not in there. I was like, that's one of those I want to like ask the Sandbox, like people, it's like breaking down. I was like, you buff that like masterwork core drop, right? Like, you may not officially say it, but like, you know, on the low, can you tell me?
Yes.
I mean, that's one of those I want to know. I was like, I know you did. You may not have put it in the club, but it's in there. So
I know you did it. Just admit it.
I'm reading your eyes. I'm seeing I'm picking up what you're putting down. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that was cool. But yeah, on the other side of that, mod components. Now, there are, like, I've seen people get these like farming methods where it's like work on this or work on that, and it's usually just farm a whole bunch of crap and break it down. Farm a whole bunch of crap and break it down. How does Banshee not have like 1 or 2 bounty? I mean, I still have, you know, 6,000 weapon parts and nothing to do with them, and I'm not just going to farm random rolls on his set of stuff that's only so much.
Right.
So, like, mod components is the next piece. Like, we can't ask for all of it at once, I know, but mod components is the other side of this. Like, you know, the people who run a full super build, like super mods on their armor for PvP, it makes a world of difference. I've seen the time differences in some of those comparisons, like Cool Guy and stuff like that did. So, yeah, that's the next thing I'm waiting for. So we'll get there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
General, and this is it right here. This is what bugs me. First line: Banshee now accepts up to 25 gunsmith materials at a time. I don't care though. I don't care if it's 25 or 100 at once. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't gonna give me anything good, who gives a damn?
I think that was for the OCD in me though, because I remember like leveling up his beat. Just
it was like 10. It was like click, click, click,
click,
click.
click.
Oh my god! Come on, are we done? Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to, I think we're gonna get into it next. And shout out to them shaders. Shout out to the shader deletion.
Oh, they're faster. Yep.
Woo! That.
Yeah. So they remove the hold time for Spider's material exchange interactions, I guess. So shorter. I guess if you're just going to click on a material, bam. Increase the stack size of ghost fragments to 10 to 20. That's good. So you can stockpile a little more and buy a lot of bounties at the same time.
Right.
Reduced shader dismantle time. That's what you were just talking about. It's just so much quicker. It's just like you barely see that bar go. It's so much quicker. Yes. I since that happened, I went through and cleaned up even more shaders because I was like, okay, I can deal with this. It's a little better. But sadly, then when you go to Rahul, it's still slow as hell.
Yes.
So like the 5s are slower, but the singles are quicker. I'm like, really? Do them both.
True.
Let's see. Fix an issue where the secret victories emblem was using the wrong tracker description. Completely displays ascendant chests looted. Little stuff like that. Queen's Bounty Purification Ritual has like clarified some stuff. Raid Challenge bounties. They're supposed to be in a fixed round robin rotation, which people are really annoyed about. So that's good. Even though somebody said it was the same last week as this week. So hopefully that's actually on rotation.
Yes, please.
And for my sake, Nightfall unique rewards will drop more consistently. The longer a player goes without a unique drop, the higher their chances of a unique reward on their next Nightfall completion. So if you are going to grind, say, Hollowed Lair for that Mindbender's Ambition, the more you grind, the better your odds. It's still probably going to be low, but if you grind it like 10 times, your odds are starting to stack up.
No doubt. Bloody Knuckles in the chat. What's going on, bro? It's good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Continue.
And then in chat, we got Dino, we got Butt Fuel. Oscar finally joined us, said Fred.
Oscar.
Yep. You guys are tuning in. Thank you. The chance resets once a player receives any Nightfall unique reward. So if you play like Arms Dealer 10 times, and if that's that'd be actually kind of an interesting way to do it. Go through the Arms Dealer, see if you can get a nice stockpile of like non-drops, then go play Hollowed Lair a few times, see if that'll help your odds, and be kind of a way if you know there's a strike that's easier to burn through.
Yes.
And then PC, just chat. So
yes, sir.
But yeah, so that's the general rundown of patch. Feeling good, quality of life, a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm actually loving it because for me specifically, cores were number 1, exotic drop rates were right there, number 2, and like I said, shout out to Distant Relation, the drop that I got. I'm using that scout, man. It's hard to get out of that slot, especially this is the first time. I would say Escalation Protocol shotgun is threatened, but it's the first time as an energy shot, like an energy scout, I'm really using this thing and having a lot of fun. And I think if I get a god roll on that, I will definitely masterwork it. And the last point I want to make about enhancement cores is that because of the economy being the way it is now, with this slow, steady stream, now as I'm getting towards the end game, it's like, okay, I can start thinking about masterworking guns now, right? Because now I'm getting that, 1 or 2 cores from a scrapper bounty. Or if I do a spider bounty, I can, I've got specific areas to grab these resources. And to me, it's making me think about my end game thing. And I know we'll get into armor later with the 12, but I like that aspect. Before it was just like trying to survive with this lack of core kind of deal. So I'm loving it so far. 2.0, 2.05. I am feeling it. Success for me.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I mean, definitely all steps in the right direction. These continued patches are good. We got 2 patches in a month.
Yes.
So, I mean, we got the mid-month, we got October, and I mean, Festival of Lost is about to wrap up. So we're going to kind of roll into this week at Bungie. Festival of Lost is your last week. Now, we'll jump into a little bit later, like our new thing to do. Short-lived as it is. But we are wrapping up. Has until Tuesday, November 6th. If you guys want to grind out any other piece, any other masks, horror story, if you're still waiting for that, this is your time.
I gotta get it done.
So work your way on those pieces. But we got a new quest.
Yes.
What'd you think about that?
Oh boy.
I opened that can of worms. Let's go.
Let's go. You doing it. Obviously, based on data mining and stuff, we all know for the most part that this quest is going to be most likely tied to the exotic ThunderLord quest. And this thing right now is really getting the community very riled up, as well as far as the way it's being presented. So you go to obviously Amanda, you get the quest, and pretty much, quote me if I'm wrong, it's just like get legendary engrams, right? And that kind of counts towards your progress. And at the end of the day, I mean, it literally can be done. You can even be cheap and just not cheap, but you can literally just go to Raul and buy the 10 or whatever it is and get it completed that way. The issue comes down to time-gated content, and I see a lot of commentary on it. So I'm going to pose the question back to you.
Flipping
I know how I feel about this, but I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to say, like, with this quest in particular, did you get it done? Did you do it? And 2, how do you feel about time-gated content in general?
So first off, I got it done just naturally playing. So don't go by the engrams. It's so easy to finish. Like just play through. I was doing Nightfalls. I think I got half of it done in like what was the damn run? Arms dealer. I was just working on that. Next thing, and I was like, bam, done. They were dropping all over the place. So like it goes so quick. Do not spend your shards. Not worth it at all. Time gated content for me it's weird. Like if you're gonna time gate this and it starts with Amanda Holiday and Festival Lost and it's a 3-week event and it's a 3-week quest, why did it not start on the first week? That's stage 1. So I feel like if it's going to be tied to the event, have it coincide with the weeks of the event, like the 3 weeks in the Dreaming City. That rotation is its own thing. But if you're going to have a 3-week Festival Lost and a 3-week quest, why do those not coincide? Now, my suspicion is because we are going to get heavy machine guns with Black Armory.
Absolutely.
So those are going to somehow tie into each other. So we know that's going to be a thing. And that may be the incentive behind it. But honestly, the time-gated stuff kind of sucks, personally.
I feel you. I know this community is definitely going crazy. I guess I'm going to have to start wearing you got to call me like my corporate hat.
Are you a Bungie shill, Bungie sellout?
Yeah, just start calling me, Lord Shill or something. Because, all right, here's my deal. Now, in theory, in general, I don't have a problem with time-gated content. That's just a cognito thing. Like, I really don't. It doesn't bother me when they're like, hey, week 1 is we had this discussion with Shattered Throne or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And I was like, look, okay, cool. I'll get it when I get it. You know what I'm saying? The game is in a state where it's so much to do that it doesn't bother a person like me. I do understand for the rest of the community that it does bother how, that they will get annoyed by that. However, this one, I was like, I have to admit, because when it, like you said, I was in the middle of a strike, it just got done. So my whole thing is, I don't have a problem with time gating. I have a problem with just that one step. Whereas you look at something like the Polaris Lance, which was time gated, right? I thought that was handled better because I believe it was like maybe 2 to 4 steps before you can get.
A lot more to do.
Exactly. So to me, this was such a minute step that it was like you could have gave us another step to have us wait a whole week for something so simple. So that's the part I really empathize with the community. That's the part I'm like, that's stupid. Maybe they got to tweak that. And then you hit the nail on the head. You know, we all know, again, Lord Chill, what's going on. They're trying to. I guess it's funny. I'm actually like make myself laugh with it. They're trying to obviously market ThunderLord right at the release of Black Armory.
Yep.
I get it. I get the timing, but like you said, there's that 1 week before where this could have come out and then kind of synced it a little bit better. That's all I really have to say on it as far as that. But yeah, just a little bit more steps, man. Like this one little step and that's it. And then it's like wait next week. And I'm like, okay. Just handle it better. Don't have a problem with time getting, but just handle this particular one. I don't think it was really thought out really well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. Like, not all time-gated stuff sucks. Because, I mean, as we are in a good... And it also depends on where Destiny is. Because previously in year 1 of Destiny 2, when you were working on that quest, if you did just like, all right, sweet, I got the first part of, you know, the Polaris Lance quest. You burned through it, cool. Well, crap. Now I got to wait another week. So it was when there wasn't as much to do. Now there's a lot to do. Gambit's going triple to like today. We got triple infamy. Don't forget about that, guys. Triple infamy going live for the rest of the week.
Yes, sir.
But when you have all of that stuff going on, it feels a little better when stuff's like, okay, I can kind of understand, and it would be like, as long as it's kind of timed fairly decently with the drops of, you know, Black Armory, kind of coincides, and maybe if this quest actually leads into it, there's a little more, you know, a little more going on, a little more lore. But this is literally like pick up pages, hang out, and it was so short, and I think that got everybody was like, hey, new quest done.
Yeah, it was
like
so
there was nothing to it.
I agree. That was what the big main issue was. I think you're on it. That's exactly the problem I had with it. So we'll see. You know, next week what the next step is.
Yeah, it's like this time. Okay, go over here and shoot 10 guys. All right, now wait another week.
Yeah, that is gonna be annoying.
Yeah, so it's just kind of the balance of how much content we get. And honestly, we've got more content than we would ever have expected with Forsaken. The live updates have been good. The live team's been doing really well. Like Festival of Lost was solid. Better than basically I'd say probably any live event before. Because just the amount of like the masks had a purpose. You leveled up the armor that you actually got. Forest had stuff to go for. We actually had an exclusive weapon that like helped everybody level up. All of those pieces were a nice combination of things. And just handling this final little cherry on top with a little bit more depth would have made it like that icing on the cake. So,
right. And again, we're nitpicking because for the most part, we have to, right? Festival of the Lost has been a success. Like this event notoriously has had bad Destiny history, right? Like we used to call it
Lost that had that name.
There you go. That's what we used to call it. You know what I'm saying? It was the official Lord Chill event.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, them emotes and the prices of everything. It was really, really bad out here. But yeah, you know, again, nitpick things that they can improve on. I think they will learn from it, and then we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that definitely a good one to talk about in the community.
Yeah, good step in the right direction. If they can just keep this level of live content going for something like the Dawning, then I'll be impressed. So we'll see how like January and the Dawning goes, because that'll be the next one. But I'm going to be excited about heavy machine guns. Cannot wait for those.
Oh yes.
That's going to be good stuff. So, Bungie felt like explaining what on earth is going on with your armor. So,
this is your section. Woo! Break it down.
General breakdown. As you guys know, you have now when armor drops either arc, void, or solar kind of damage resistance. And you have 5 tiers of that. So basically the way it works, every little block on your resistance is worth 1% of damage resistance. That's overall for that damage type. So if I have 5 pieces of armor, all of them have arc, and all of them are full, that's a total of 25% damage resistance to any arc damage.
Yes.
So if you stack a damage type and you know, like, hey, if I'm going to go against, say I want to solo the Nightfall and it's arms dealer, what's a lot in there? Cabal. So it's going to be a boatload of solar. Okay. So if I have a set of armor that's full stacked, full masterworked, and this is where hopefully the core economy will help this, I can have 25% damage resistance against solar. So that's going to make that even more survivable. Going to let you crank up the Nightfall modifiers a little bit more and help you manage all that stuff that you're facing. So this is that like kind of starting to min-max your armor a little bit more.
Yes.
So this is, again, they're delving a little more into these RPG pieces. You're going to have different sets that mean more. Now you have perks and different damage resistances. There's a tiny little part of me that wishes I could re-roll the damage resistance, though.
Yes.
A little part of me.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll be like, hey, oh crap, they're all, whatever. If I could pay 20 shards or something and re-roll this one to an arc resistance or something just to help match that set a little better, that would be kind of cool. The other piece of the little blocks, as you fill in arc, solar, or void, whatever you're wearing, each one of those is also a percentage against any attack while you're in your super. So that is the other piece that is going to help you, because masterworking before was like, all right, what are we doing? So
things around pretty much.
Yeah, it's like when you had the arc and the solar and stuff, and they really never clarified that you're harder to kill in super when you have these things masterwork. They've never said that since D2 came out. It was a thing before in D1. So now they've finally kind of clarified to say it's a thing in D2. So this is just nice to see and get a little clarification. I'm not sure why it took them this long, like a year. But that's like where the random rolls and stuff come in. And honestly, it's just nice to see that it's a thing. Because personally, it gives me more incentive to actually, go for a very specified set for certain activities.
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to go fight, what would be a good example? Say if I'm working on the Hollowed Lair, if I want to not be worked over by arc, which would probably be the biggest thing between the bouncing bouncing grenades, by the way, from those chieftains. Dude, those are lethal. That is why you'd never, ever, 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 ever run arc singe on the Hollowed Lair. You will die because the boss and those bouncing grenades both will kill you. But that'd be one where if I go solar singe, but I go a full set of arc on that one, it's going to keep me alive that much longer. So 25%, if you have it full stacked, would make a difference. So this just starts leaning a little bit more of what we were talking about last week with Destiny 3 going that much more into a hardcore RPG.
That's why I said this section is for you, because you are the armor connoisseur. You're the guy that before Forsaken was going down, you were like, Cog, I don't hear nothing about armor. This is frustrating me. Like, they better do something.
It's a big deal. It's half of your inventory, and it actually takes up more of my vault because there's so many damn rolls.
Here it goes.
I can find my good roll on a weapon. Like, I know if I've got 2 or 3, I'm like, I'll kind of keep them both, see if anything's good, but I don't need 10 because I know about 8 of them probably are trash. But when it comes to armor, you can have 50 rolls, and you never be like, oh, I'm going into linear fusion for this one. I want to try it out. Okay, I'm pull my linear fusion stuff out of my vault. Oh, I want to go rockets, pull that. Sniper, pull that. That's just those heavies alone. So, I mean, there's so many rolls. I have way too much armor. Let's just say that. My vault is a problem still.
Wow, you really hold on to your armor. Wow.
I do. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't hold on. I mean,
go read Fallout's tweet as well. They're like, why is your vault full? And he's like, these situations when they do little patches and they're like, oh, by the way, this is good now. What if there's a patch that comes out and says, oh, by the way, rocket launcher reloader just got a 50% buff. You're oh, hello.
I
that
do it.
Little stuff starts coming.
I hear you on that. I guess I do it selfishly only for specific things that match my playstyle. But you sound like you're hoarding. Like you sound like
absolutely. I'm totally
like the old grandma that's with the 1,000 cats. Like, bro.
Oh, I know. I'm not arguing, honestly. I fully am agreeing to that. Okay. And honestly, some of it's just because I'm still not I'm close at this point. I can be 597 and 600. So, I can max the character if I want to. So I'm finally at that point where I'll actually spend some time clearing crap out. But for a while, it was just, I want to play. I don't want to stare at my vault. So for a while, it was just throw everything in there and just keep moving on. And then it's got to the point where I was like, crap, now I need to spend an hour and just clean stuff out, which that will never be on Twitch. So you guys can thank yourselves for that one. But generally, it's just one of those, I save as much as I can because I never my build I'm going to want to do. And that's why the same thing with the Arc, Solar, and Void, I was like, I don't know what my specifications are. So then, so even if my hoarding was aside, it would be a point where if you have Arc, Solar, what if you just play okay, sometimes I go snipers, sometimes I go super or sleeper, and then sometimes there's shotguns involved. If you have those 3 pieces and you have an Arc, Solar, and Void set for those 3, that's a lot of crap alone.
Absolutely.
So I was like, it's going to add up. So I just got to pare my vault down a little bit. But overall, it's nice to see. that this is a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
And I thought about you with this.
yeah. So I mean, this was cool to dig into, notice the understanding a little more. And then they did say as well, if you go like 15% void and then 5% arc and 5% solar, but you have all of your like sections on that piece of armor, all of them are still masterworked fully, you still have that 25% resistance for your super. So
Yes.
damage resistance is one. Each little block is towards your super, no matter what type it is. So it's not like, you know, your highest one is your max super. It's all together, which is cool. So I think that overall is, and this is the type of stuff I was waiting for. Why they had to wait until like a week before the damn Forsaken came out to tell me about it, I don't know. But it could have been that long in development and they didn't know. But I'm just very glad that in general, armor has a purpose. I wish it was a little bit higher, but I'll take it.
I feel you.
I'm like glad the price of core, like the price of cores versus your benefits. Sometimes for me, it's like 1% versus a core. Before this economy change was like, that's not worth it. Now, okay, I'll probably spend a few more.
Fair enough. I'm glad they got my boy E happy. They're slowly transitioning into that mid-max game and that armor tuning game that he wants. And according to the rumors, like we said last Flashpoint, you know, D3 is supposed to apparently piss the casuals off with the level of depth they intend on going. So I think they're setting things up. What do you think?
It's all in how you phrase things, and that's one of those things. Some people have tact, some don't. Deej is like the best at handling everything without saying anything. But it's how they present it. Something like The Division is almost, and that's why I was like, there are points where, like, I mean, Dada's even said it before. Can I have a number on my experience bar? If you go full RPG or more, even not, you don't have to go World of Warcraft, but not gonna argue. Just make more things transparent if you do. Don't make it quite as vague and say, hey, this buffs this. Hey, this does this. Tell me, hey, this, you know, if a super mod, be like, you know, you have your super charge time or something, you can look at your stats, be like, hey, this lowers your super charge time by 10 seconds, 2 stacks, 20, and have something somewhere on your character screen that says super charge time, and it starts at 5 minutes exactly or whatever. You throw a super mod on there, you just be like, oh, it went down. As opposed to people who have to literally record their screen, not move, and be in like a cave somewhere. I mean, it works for people who are making videos, but it's the point of like, if you want more of the casuals to not be overwhelmed and be like, I have to go watch a video to understand everything, put it in the game.
Right.
But the other like there's a balance to that, because Division went so deep on like throwing 7,000 numbers at you. You're like, what the hell does all this mean?
This do? Right. So you kind of overwhelm the casual. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's a balance between those two, but if they handle it well and make some things just a bit more transparent. If I like mouse over a super mod, say, hey, it reduces your, you know, super cooldown, and what would it be? Say if it's 5 minutes and it's 20 seconds, then it's like, you know, by 5%.
Right.
Or 2% or whatever it is. Like, put a number on that so people can look at that and just know what it does, not just be like, lowers your super time. You're like, by how much?
By how much? Right.
And that's one of those pieces. It's like, why do we always have to like do research and do a video unless
good point. No, good point. They're good point. And I think you're actually onto something, because with 2.05, I even noticed they even try to improve descriptions within the UI of certain weapons and certain exotics. So again, baby steps in the right direction. Are we to where we need to be all the way? No, there's still a lot of things that we need tangible numbers or tangible definitions. Like, what does that mean? How much do I increase? What increases? How long? You know what I mean? And even things like, you know, status buff timers and stuff like that, you know, those type of things really help with that whole process. So I'm with you, man. I'm definitely with you. And that's when it kind of will become that game MMO that it needs to, you know, eventually be.
Yep. So generally, just nice to see. And just and again, this is the transparency and stuff that we've been seeing more and more of, and overall thumbs up. So just keep it coming, guys.
Facts.
So if you guys hadn't seen rolling around Twitter, if you just don't use Twitter, they did a costume contest, and honestly, these were pretty good. So the ones that seem to be the winners are pretty cool. So you've got basically within Riven, you've got all the people with their chicken masks and the chicken emote, which is cool. And it was just the fact that it's like within Riven itself. So now, you know, they beat the raid, which is sick. I love the traveler meta playing the guitar.
Yes. Dope.
Gall and Gall.
Yes.
Also perfectly timed. So
Like that.
very nice.
Good pose.
We've got literally the best fire team ever. Pure Shadow. That was probably, honestly, if I had to go like favorites, like some of these are cool, but literally your team is like Shaq's. Be like the other team is like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Shaq's is gonna kill us all.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and it was just the fact that that team had to coordinate perfect shaders, armor, mask, everything, and it was like, and I think they all look like they have Redrick's broadsword too. So it's like that took some coordination.
Salute.
That's shit.
Mm-hmm.
You have the meatball versus the meatball face, so that's always good. Or actually, no, that's the Aldrin one. When he's
the Aldrin. Like, no.
I will. Have you watched the movie It? By the way,
yes,
you did. Okay, the new one. Yeah.
You talk about the new? Oh, I'm talking about the old school.
No, the new one.
I've seen the new one.
That's where the next one came from. That's where that dance is from.
Gotcha.
That head's very still, but the body's dancing back and forth.
Yes.
That's trippy as hell.
Hilarious.
So that one's good. This just looks like creepiness in the mask, and then Gall doing his thing.
Yes.
But yeah, overall these were pretty cool. I just like, the ones they picked I think were quality. So overall I think some people had some fun with those. And then the refer a friend quest is out there.
Yes.
So if you got friends who haven't tried Destiny, this is a good time. Now I kind of want to reach out and see if I can find somebody to get myself through this one because would be nice to actually knock out because you got the cool shaders, stuff like that. But overall, Refer a Friend is just kind of a nice way to bring people in because it's a good time. Like if you want to tell somebody is Destiny good, now is one of the best times to say that. Probably.
Yes. Yes, DJ saying it means for you to come back. He's like, I might wait until D3. Listen, man, I'm telling you, it's as good as it's ever been, and I definitely recommend now. Especially if you might catch that sale. They got the Refer a Friend going on. They're giving you all the content. They're giving you a War Mind and Curse packed in. They're not forcing it, so it's just like it's a good time, man. It's a good time.
Yeah. So generally it's a good time to play. If you got friends that ask that question now, it's worth it to me.
Yes.
Like, I mean, if you want a good value of a game, that complete collection of D1, Osiris, Warmind, and Forsaken, it's worth so much it's just worth a lot of time. Like you can spend a lot of time if this is your type of game. If you like shooters and the way they feel, Bungie still does it one of the best.
Yeah, man.
But other than that, we've got the Lost Cryptarch quest going on, so we're getting started with that piece. Refer a Friend is going on. They've got some known issues. You guys can read about those. They're saying 150 RPM scout rifles may not fire at their intended rate.
Yeah, I caught that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so depending on what scout rifle you're using, keep that in mind. Somebody in chat said something I don't understand. Sorry, whoever you are.
Yeah, don't understand.
Standard movies of the week, and then they kind of talk about down here. They'll be posting whether it's improved quality of life or conversations over Crucible. Just let them know. Just if you say something to Bungie or Cosmo or Dylan or Deej, do it constructively. Yes. They're not going to listen to expletives and curse words and crazy ranting.
Come on, Pongo.
Yeah, come on, do this. This sucks. Blah blah blah. That is not how you help any of that stuff work. Just have a methodical thought, sit down, slow down, and be like, hey, if you were the developer of this game, how would you like to hear about your feedback? And just approach it the same way. That's not too hard. Do upon to others as you would like to be treated. That's a pretty standard rule for life. So treat them the same way. They put their heart and soul into these things. So it's worth being decent about all of that. So
yes, please. Let's be respectful.
Yep. Other than that, we have... So this is just the Refer a Friend stuff, so you guys can actually see the link. So you'll actually get the Borealis from doing it, even though I already have the gun. I guess it's just a way to guarantee to get it, which is cool. You'll get the Murmuration ship, and then complete a Nightfall with a friend. You're going to get the ornament, which is that animated ornament, which is actually really cool. Yes. I like that. I mean, an animation on a gun, that's actually unique. I wonder if I'm going to get lose my mind when I'm looking down sights, but kind of a cool one. Exclusive emblems are always a thing, so keep that in mind.
Yes.
And then if you refer multiple people, you will get bonus 1. You get the double rainbow crazy sparrow, bonus 2 sparrow ornaments, which is a weird thing. That's kind of why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah, very interesting.
Sparrow with an ornament. It's not a shader I don't know if it's just a specific or exclusive Sparrow ornament. Maybe it just is a specific shader for it, but it's just a weird way they phrased it.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of weird.
And then just a bright engram, I guess, for getting them in there. And then just the quest steps you can actually look through and see what you've got to do. Quite a bit of stuff, actually. So work your way through, get a few things, and it's your way to kind of get somebody into it as well. So generally, it's just a nice piece for people coming in.
That's right, DJ Singh. I need my refer a friend quest done, man. I need this stuff off of your back. So pick up the game so I can get my free loot.
So we got one more piece. I feel like I had it out here, and let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So, now, if you guys are part of the Destiny community, you may have heard about this, and honestly, it's one of the really cool things that the Destiny community has come together to do is GuardianCon, and honestly, the biggest pieces of fundraising they do for St. Jude's. The amount of money they have raised over the past few years has like grown kind of in a 2x fashion, which blows me away every time. But GuardianCon, the big meetup, it's some of the major streamers, Gethalion, Broman, a couple of those guys started it. It's grown into a huge deal. I mean, Ninja made it out to the last one. If you guys watch Twitch at all, I know you know who Ninja is. And this year, they're going fancy. Yeah, Drake knows too. Yeah. So this will be a cool thing. Cognito and I are actually looking at getting out to GuardianCon, so we will hopefully be there. Not sure, like, we're not probably going to host a booth or anything, but we definitely work on being there. Maybe work on trying to do, have a meal in a place, kind of do a meetup, something like that, maybe if people are interested. But this will be cool, like, because this is where Cognito and I met 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years from this one, at least. Oh, we got dancing. This is why we don't have webcams, guys, because it's bad dancing.
It's be terrible right now.
But yeah, it's honestly just people who are passionate about Destiny. If you guys are watching this podcast, you probably are too. And it's just a whole bunch of people coming together. They'll do panels with people talking about other podcasting or YouTube or just events. They had Gambit out there last time. We don't know if there's going to be some exclusive experience out there this time.
Let's predict though, because all right, let's do our homework. We've got Black Armory coming up. Spring will be, what is it, Joker's Wild?
Think so.
And then summer, so we should be technically around Penumbra. We should be getting like
Penumbra should be out, I think. In July, I think. Yeah, because if you go December, you go spring.
You want to say what, April? You want to say April for Joker's Wild?
See, I don't know if I can wait that long. Maybe it depends on the summer, but yeah, maybe this is Penumbra time. I keep feeling like, technically spring starts in March, and I always forget that it starts that late. So,
it's interesting.
Black Armory pretty much going to be in December. They've said that.
Yes.
Now, if they're going to space it right, you would think you almost got to jump like in March, almost as soon as you can to space, because you have to have a space for that
you're right.
content to breathe to be able to get to Penumbra. Right. But July, August, September, I feel like it almost needs to be like E3, like kind of a thing. But we're going to do E3 being like, September's big release. Like, that's why it's like, if you wait for like some release after E3, it feels like weird timing. I don't know, but something's going to be related to GuardianCon if they do it again, whether it's whatever's coming in September, maybe it's just the game mode they're testing out, maybe stuff with Penumbra. But, Bungie usually will send at least the community managers out there. It's cool to meet a lot of these people. And it's just a cool place to meet a lot of people that you've either probably watched in YouTube videos, you've seen them on Twitch, and then you can actually just walk up and shake their hand. So it's like, if you love Destiny, like most of us do, it's a cool place to hang out. And they went plush on this one.
Woo! Oh, it's bougie, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm liking this.
Rose and Shingle Creek, it's a resort out there in Orlando, Florida. It's really close to Disney, actually, pretty damn close. Got a golf course, got indoor heated pool. They got 4 like heated pools. They have the conference center in there. There's restaurants. So what they tried to do this time is basically make everything on location. So if you just go in from the airport, like take an Uber over there, you technically don't have to like rent a car or leave. It sounds like if you just stay at the resort for a day or two, you'll probably be good.
Yeah.
You don't have to go wander around and stuff, which is kind of nice. So that's actually really cool. You can get just a basic weekend pass for $80 if you want to get the like Premier Pass and Premier Plus. You can get some like exclusive bling, stuff like that. But overall, like if you just want to go to the event, $80 for a 2-day event. it's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. So
Yeah,
par 5 saying golf. I'm like, of course you're saying golf, but that is, I was like, that's in your name.
I know, right?
That is your name. So golf is definitely a thing. But the biggest thing, and we haven't actually worked it out yet, but they do always do their fundraising streams and things like that. And it's just a really cool thing. So if you don't follow GuardianCon now, follow them on Twitter. Just check them out. See as they're going along. They do their crazy charity streams and all that type of stuff. So I mean, I know you sent me this as soon as it went live.
Oh, bro.
What do you think? Come on. I know it's like I'm rambling just about all of it, but like, what are you thinking about this one?
Oh, I'm hyped, man. Because like, first of all, like you said, we already know the history between me and you. Like I said, we went though when it was Destiny, God. Let's clarify.
Last year it was that.
Exactly. So, yep. So it's like, man, it's good to see them returning. First of all, we got to shout out, these guys, Gadalion, Broman, Cav, like, these guys, just the amount of time and effort that they put in to set this thing up, to make sure things go smoothly, to get people who love this game, to really come together. It's really cool. And like I said, it's a brotherhood, it's a camaraderie, it's fun. People do cosplays, there's games, there's food. And then, that was the original experience. And that was the Tampa Fairgrounds. Yep. Full disclosure, not the biggest fan of the venue, but was very appreciative. Full disclosure. But when I seen announcement for 2019, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Now, this is that premium Lord Cognito experience. Even so much so, you know how I knew? Oh, yeah, plush is all me, bro. So it's like, you know what I knew? They hit it when Lord King is like, hey, I want to go, but it's my birthday. Like, he would never go to a Destiny type card, right? So
who wouldn't do
it? Lord King.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he saw that picture, he was, oh, damn, it's my birthday. I was going to go with you guys.
It's like, all right, I got fancy enough to get King's attention. That's hilarious.
Exactly. This is really nice. I like the fact that it's all on the grounds. Apparently from listening to the stream, they're going to have more than enough. The convention space actually is on site. Yep. And they can even add to it, which sounds really cool. From a commute standpoint, Tampa was a little tough. Getting around sometimes was a little, not tough, but more expensive than it would be to do this. This would be closer to the airport. Just logistically, it seems really good. And, apparently when these things go live and all this, all the stuff goes live, there's going to be some deals, cut in conjunction with the hotel and all that stuff. So if you guys have never been to one, I really, really suggest you guys try to make one. And this looks like the year, because according to Goth and these guys, they're trying to continue this partnership with these guys at Rosin Creek.
The Rosin Shingle Creek.
Right. So apparently, this is supposedly like the start of a new, long-term arrangement. So if it goes well this year, we can kind of expect it. And I hope it is. You still got, it's going to be 4th of July weekend, the day before, you've still got, Disney World, whatever, right there. It seems like a perfect storm. And again, if we follow suit, last year, I believe Bungie reps did go, right?
Yeah. Cosmo and Deej were there. Right. Cosmo and Dylan were there.
Right. And the year before, I believe, when I went, there was one year I went and you didn't go. I was the following year, maybe 2017, I want to say.
Yeah, it was the year after we went, because I know neither of us went in this year.
Right.
17 would have been when you went.
Right. So 17, I went solo, and that I got a chance to meet Deej, Cosmo, the whole crew. What is homie's name? Patrick something. He was from he was part of the Third Studio, I believe.
Vicarious Visions or
yes. So I got to meet the Vicarious Vision, because this was the first time they really going to debut it, on PC. So that was cool. You get to meet your favorite content creators, DCP, all those guys. Cactus. I mean, it's just so cool. If I got the only person I haven't met and I really want to meet is like Unknown Player. I missed him. A couple other people I kind of missed, but it's a fun event, man. And like I said, if you're a hardcore Destiny fan, if you got the time, if you're in the area, pop on through. Flashpoint will be in the building. We're working on some things.
Working on it, guys. We definitely want to be there.
Yes.
just because we love the game and this is like the mecca of Destiny. So,
Mm-hmm.
poor choice of words, but half true. But yeah, it's like, and it looks just like if you're gonna have a vacation, you know, it's July 4th anyway. Make it a little extra, a day or two around there. I mean, you call so it's the 5th and 6th. So it itself is going to take place on Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
So that's the two events. The 4th is on Thursday. So I mean, if you like fly out Wednesday, fly out on July 4th, which may be crazy for travel, but I mean, that actually might be an okay day to travel because people are probably going to want to be where they are for travel.
Right. The prices are lower. Hint, hint. If you on that day, if you're flying out the 4th, I've been looking at them flights. It's cheaper.
Yeah. And then you'll just come back on Sunday. So don't make it too crazy. You can even just do one day. Like if you're in the area, want to go in and just check it out. So if you're in the area somewhere in Florida and you want to drive in for a day, $50. Check it out. Have fun. Meet a whole bunch of cool people. Do it 2 days. They're going to have some night events. They did, you know, some cool stuff last year.
Yeah, the night stuff be lit too, y'all. I'm telling y'all. It'd be some nice shindigs. And apparently the facility has like 3 or 4 restaurants on site, so you don't have to go out and go too far and all this stuff. Then we're talking about the pools and oh man, it's gonna be lit. This is the one to go to. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's
y'all lucky y'all didn't deal with the hard floor of the Tampa Bay Fairgrounds.
Yeah, they did say that it is carpet everywhere.
Oh,
so you're not gonna have that sore feet from walking on concrete, as you said, for like so many hours. It's true though. Like you don't think about that until you do it, and just walking on concrete as opposed to anything with squish is gonna be so much better. So yeah, I mean they got in-room dining, they got 3 restaurants. So I mean it's just gonna be a really cool place.
Yes, sir.
But overall, that is something we're definitely looking forward to. So that got announced. Tickets will go on sale, and also the hotel block that is related to this event also goes on sale, and it is midnight Eastern, November 23rd. So definitely be ready for that one. It's basically Black Friday is when all that goes on sale. So if you're going to do your midnight shopping, maybe start with the hotel room. The hotel rooms may be harder to get than the tickets.
Wait. Actually, gotta correct you. According to Gotham, the tickets go up first. They advise you if you guys are gonna go to follow GuardianCon on Twitter, whatever. They'll put the link up when it goes live. They said get the tickets first. Do not book on your own with the hotel, because what they're saying is
then you get the block through.
Right. Then they'll give you the link for the block that you'll get the discounted deal. And I believe it, don't quote me, maybe 130, 140 a night.
I think you said 140. Yeah.
140. Yes. So basically that opens up once you buy your ticket. So it's ticket and then hotel room. So don't get on your own, because you really miss out on that kind of a deal if you want to stay on site, right in the heart of things, in all the glory, the premium experience bouginess that is GuardianCon and the Rose and Shingle Creek. You know what I mean? Trust me, man. Like I said, it's worth it. This is a good one to go to for your first one.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do it right. I mean, last year got crazy big. They had some big names out there. They did some cool stuff with Gambit. There's still a lot of panels. They're just cool people. I mean, we were there just like going out, meeting some people, having fun, checking out a panel, talking to people that I know, and just taking it all in. And it was just one day. I mean, the fact that it was like 2 days and so long, and you don't have to rush, and you can actually kind of enjoy all of it. That'll be nice. So.
Yeah, man. I got a quick question for you. Any content creators Ebontis wants to meet that he hasn't met?
Oh, I was going to say there's a list, I'm sure. I did meet Datto when I was at the first one with you.
Yes.
I think I bumped into Fallout at the time, but hadn't actually followed him as much. But I'm pretty sure I said hello, because I'd seen the name, I saw him, but it wasn't like I quite didn't have it all together. Yeah. So would definitely like to say hi, because I've been following his science as of late.
Nice. Great videos.
But I mean, the ones like Astacross, you got Houndish, you got Unknown Player.
I want to meet Cross
for sure. So a lot of those bigger guys for sure. Just say hey. Just always enjoy their content as well. Some other guys that you see out there. So like Cool Guy is one you pointed me to lately, who's a pretty cool guy. I've seen Ninja Pop's kind of popular, and just it would be cool just to meet those people, put a face to a name, and chat with them for a second, because you know we do our piece of podcasts and videos and things like that, and they do that as well. And it's like you know, just be on that same person. They're humans, they're people. Everybody's like, oh, these are awesome streamers and stuff. You meet them in person, everybody's a little different, and that's why I was like, it's nice to just walk up and say, hey.
Absolutely. And shout out to Fire Team Chat. I met them both times I went.
Them first time.
Yeah, they're really cool, man. Shout out to my boy Fran Marabella, who's no longer with IGN, but he was part of the thing. I don't believe Sean Finnegan's ever gone to a GuardianCon. He's been at E3.
Yeah, definitely like him there.
Yeah, definitely Gary's a mainstay. He's always there. And CJ Gibson went 1 year. So CJ Gibson's really cool.
So I would like to meet, CJ's, because I met Destin and Fran actually at the Wing Place at GuardianCon, the first one. I met him that night before. And then I met Cosmo there. Dylan, I don't think, was actually a community manager at the time, so I didn't meet him yet. I missed Deej completely.
Oh, I got the picture with Deej too. It's lit.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And then trying to think. So so I got to meet Fran. He wouldn't be there, but I'd like to meet CJ and Sean. I think seems like a cool guy, and I kind of appreciate Sean's level at some point, having some world experience, having that. I don't want to say an elitist is the wrong word, but he's definitely he's more of a hardcore, and he's just like. That's kind of my thoughts on it. So it's like he always seems like a cool dude, definitely photography and stuff like that. But CJ just always seems like kind of the family. He's the dad of the group, and in the nicest way.
Yes, that's
like just seems like an awesome, like has fun, chill, doesn't get too hyped up. Like
good dude.
Everybody has just a good dude overall. So it's like I'd be looking forward to meet a few of those guys. Hopefully they'd be there. So. What about you? You got any content? You got any people that you want to add off to your list? Shake hands with at least.
I want to see my usual faces. I want to see my DCP. Obviously, you know, I want to see. Actually, I want to talk. Even though I met him a few times, I haven't talked to him since he got the position at Bungie temporarily, which is Holtzman. I'm a huge Holtzman fan, so I definitely want to chat with him. Hopefully, I want to see if the old school. I mean, I shouldn't say old school. The new school Planet Destiny guys go because Black Link.
Black Link, yeah.
I want to meet him. I'm gonna chat. But for me personally, the fanboy is two fanboy ones I got is Cross. I love his stuff, man. Cross, as far from a Crucible standpoint, he's just a fun listen. Tash I've never met. I don't know if he's going. Unknown Play is probably number one. I love Unknown Play. Huge fan of his content. And
I totally forgot. I want to meet Bife. Got to throw that in.
Yes, I met Bife briefly, very quickly. Like literally, he just got to the thing, and I can tell he had like a bunch of things he had to do, but he stopped, and he was cool. We started to pick Bife. Yeah, he's tall, by the way.
He's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
Yeah, Bife's tall. So we got that, and who else? I bumped into say what is it? Say No to Rage. Very cool guy.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
And the Guardian Radio guys, always see them, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
And
I hung out with Mark and them for a little bit before, so they were very cool. Like, was it Bell Bunny at the time?
Yes,
yeah, she's always just very nice, and always has. I mean, it was just like it was a contrasting perspective, but it's like coming from that other side. Sometimes it's good to hear. So I was appreciated her being part of that too.
You know who I haven't met? It's kind of weird. Gathalion.
I saw Gathalion, bro, man, but I definitely didn't shake their hand. They were just too insane. I kind of figured. Yeah, they're swamped at that thing. That's like they don't get that chill time. They have probably some room in the back somewhere for them to be like, just like sigh. But they're both actually shorter than I thought they were too.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, me and you haven't been in a while. So this is gonna be fun, man. Just to kind of link up again and just talk about this game we love, man, with a fellow nerds in the building in plush circumstances.
I'm sure in some discussions I probably owe you a drink in some fashion. I'm not sure I've got one coming to me, but I'm sure I probably.
Oh, come on, bro! You already know. You know what I'm saying? You already know. I got the Cade special for you on deck. We're gonna do this thing right, man. We're gonna set that bar off right. Make no mistake.
But yeah, it's just a big thing to look forward to. Just got announced. If you're interested, tickets are coming up towards the end of the month, so just keep that in the back of your head. Look out, planning it out. So it's just one of those pieces. It may sound like a goofy thing to do. if you are relatively close, and even like somebody I know, Mark's in like of Guardian Radio, he's out in like North Carolina or something, and he'll drive down. So like if you can even drive for reasonable distance, for me it'd be a 16-hour drive. That would just be brutal. But like if you can make it to it, it's always a cool experience. And if you're listening to a Destiny podcast, you probably like the game enough that you might consider it. So
absolutely,
just something to keep in mind and throw in the back of your guys' heads. But I mean, it was patch notes, and the TWAB is extremely light. So I think that's most of we got. You got anything else to throw out there?
No, man, that was pretty much it. We knew it was going to be a light one coming in, and it's still fun. Still had fun with it. But yeah, I think we're going to be setting up for obviously the conclusion of this Master Ives mystery and Thunderlord, and I think me and you talked. We should be getting some Black Armory stuff coming soon because
I gotta think it might. Maybe next week.
Either next week or the week after. I would say no later than the week after because it is November. This their rollout thing usually starts like a little bit a month right before. We do know off-record content creators have come back already from seeing, from Bungie and seeing Black Armory already. So, I'm excited to see where they go. I mean, I want to give a small silent prayer to the devs who are making this after Forsaken. We wish you the very best. The bar has been set extremely high, so just do the best you can do. That's all I can say. Whoever's in charge of this DLC.
Yeah, I mean, they got a high bar to set because they're going to have a new activity, potential new space-ish, maybe? Or do you think they're just going to utilize what we got?
Good question, man. Where did I read something about? There's so many rumors and leaks. I'm losing track, right?
Yeah, one of them ain't on the nine. It's just like laying it all down for us. But
so which one was he? The one that said EDZ expansion area?
The raid would be in the EDZ.
Got you.
That's the piece you're thinking of.
Yeah. Right. I think for me, as long as it's solid, as long as it's Warmind content solid with a strong enough narrative to keep me invested in the Gaunt thing and what's going on. And then the key will be the handling of the raid layer. They're off to a good start. It's not in the Dreaming City.
Not apartment 2B.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an extension of the castle. We don't go to the basement of the castle. I'm good with that. We have no.
I was like, there's so much stuff in the Dreaming City. I could see that actually being an okay handling. Like,
don't do it.
I'm not saying it's good. We've heard enough rumors. But okay, the Leviathan felt so disconnected in the first place. Going back there again had no real connection. They already gave us an incentive to go into the Dreaming City and have the lore and have the weekly reset. I'll be like, what if, if they did something more with that, I could definitely. I could at least see how it could work.
Don't put that.
Why is that such a bad thing?
Don't put that energy out there.
Why is that such a bad thing?
We don't want to go back to the same area. We just went through this, man.
You want to go back to the EDZ is how long have we had the EDZ?
Bro, we haven't been to the EDZ for a raid since Wrath of the Machine. At least listen, all I'm saying is just as long as it's not. Remember, raid layers are new, right? No. So as long as it's just not connected to the prior raid, that's all I'm saying. Like, I really don't care, honestly. Even if as long as it's not Dreaming City, I don't care where they go. Just give Dreaming City a break. It has so much to do over there. The lore's great. Let it be.
Let it breathe a little bit.
Let it breathe.
I understand that.
Let's see a little something else with another coat of paint, something spruced up. Maybe, I don't know if you want to put Siva back in so early. Whatever they decide. I want to go somewhere new. I want it to be separate narratively. And I think they're going to do it because obviously what Anon is saying, it seems, this guy's been on the money so far. So it seems like they're already going that direction. And again, all I want is content comparable to Warmind, because I really do feel Warmind doesn't get enough credit. I just think Warmind's narrative was well, not but kind of rushed, I would say.
Which one?
Warmind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it did feel, both of those. Warmind was better than Osiris.
Yes.
Osiris was just like Mercury hurt. Mars was definitely better. Mars was a huge step up. So that was good.
An endgame of Warmind was good. I liked Warmind's endgame.
Yeah. I mean, it was an Escalation Protocol was a new piece. So it was like, I mean, if they had done something like the True Infinite Forest with Osiris, it would have bought them a tiny bit better reception to that. But generally, Osiris was blah. And then Warmind was all right. And then Forsaken's like, all right, I'm stuffed. Like,
exactly.
I'm full over here. I got it all. So it's been quite interesting. So yeah, we'll just have to see where it goes. I wanted to show you this and kind of get your thoughts on it. Now look at screen.
All right, let's look at screen.
Look at the date that you have to claim the Triumph for Luna's Hell and tell me when you think it's going to drop now.
Yeah.
Notice the time. December 5th. December 5th. It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah.
No, but it's 2 in the morning. So, so my hunch and suspicion either the 4th is going to be your pre-patch for Black Armory, and it's going to come out on the 11th, or the 4th is when Black Armory launches.
Good
one of
catch.
Those two,
bro. Good catch. I think you got it. I think
it's got to be like those are the only two. Saying it right here, 4th or 11th. I mean, it can't be much later than that anyway. I just don't know which one. Do you think they have a pre-patch, or you think it is on the 4th?
I think it's probably the 4th, man, because I mean, it makes sense right at the top of December. You know what I mean? And it gives you time to get away from the November craziness. People will be settling in after their Fallout 76 or whatever big release November has. I forgot right now because Call of Duty's not there. I'm not so used to Call of Duty being November, but Call of Duty already went out
already there
to get away from Red Dead. But yeah, it makes sense. By that time, everybody should be 600. You know, casuals will be up there. You know, Luna's Howl, and then they'll probably introduce the new Crucible season, whatever, you know, meta weapon within Glory. Makes sense. I think you got it. I think it's December 4th, and that the 5th is probably just like the placeholder is the last day you can get it done. And you know, if not, then like you said, baby, what is it? The following.
Yeah, the 11th, if it's like a pre-patch, like in between seasons, kind of the way they did Forsaken's pre-patch. So
I mean, 11th could work too, just from the standpoint of that they're giving you up until the 5th. Yeah, 11th might even be better too, because they're giving you up until the 5th to get it done. After that day, you cannot get it done anymore. Then you get your pre-patch. Yeah, either way, I can see both. I literally can.
Yeah, so we'll see, but obviously it feels like it's right around the corner. So
yes.
Definitely not far away, which is cool. Yeah, that's the piece that I'm like, this piece of the annual pass will set the tone for the next entire year.
Yes.
Because it's like everybody's like, okay, is the annual pass worth it? What is the season pass? What's the live content going to be like? So far, Forsaken knocked it out of the park to me. Is it perfect? No, but it did an amazing job. And then you have Festival of the Lost, which came through with a pretty decent run. So
I want to interrupt you real quick. Staldo said he's got to get away from Pokemon, but you have Smash that week also. That's right. Smash is December 7th or something. No, Smash like a Friday or something, I believe. Staldo, real quick, tell me in the chat. I forget. We're doing something with Smash too, and I'm forgetting the date. But I think Smash might be that Friday. Nintendo tends to drop on
December
Fridays.
7th.
So it's the 7th, and that day falls on Friday. It is a Friday. Yeah, I think it's fine if it did the 5th. I still think it's fine. They're in different zones. They're in different lanes, so to speak.
Yeah, they're not quite overlapping. If you play one and you play the other, then you just like a lot of games.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they'd be safe either way. So that's what I got.
Yep, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I did want to point those little couple pieces out.
Good catch.
So yeah, that was one I was scrolling through because I was like, oh, I want to get my shirt. Already got that one ordered. I love that shirt, by the way. That cake shirt is so cool.
Mine's just on route.
Yep, got that one going. We got you got longer to buy the Ace of Spades little figurine, but I still kind of want to get it just for the little bit of nostalgia for Cade.
Yes, and I got the notification that my anthology book is on route.
Yep, those are in the works now as well. Yeah, I pre-ordered that thing eons ago. So
yes, sir.
But I think that is where we will wrap it up, guys. Mummy Snow, thank you for coming in, even though we are coming to the end of our time this morning. But honestly, guys, thank you for chat this morning. Thank you for coming in, and it's been awesome. As always, guys, we wouldn't have this without you guys. Mummy Snow, we'll get the archives up. So just check my YouTube channel. I'll get it up later. So don't worry about that one. But for all of you guys, just thank you. Enjoy your time in Destiny. You guys' kind words are awesome. You guys are like, hey, great podcast. Yes, thank you. Just seeing those little words, it makes us
a lot, bro.
Yeah. Means more than you guys know. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you want to wrap your piece and then I'll do mine?
Yeah, man. At Lord Cognito on Twitter, at Lord Cognito. Please check me out. And on Xbox, Lord Cognito as well. The Iron Lord podcast will be this Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Iron Lord podcast YouTube channel. And hopefully we should have Lord Southbound. He's a main figure in the Microsoft community. So we're trying to get him for a while. He has a ton of knowledge. True gamer. He's been on one of my favorite podcasts of all time, TXR, which was the Roundtable podcast. That was one of my favorite podcasts of all time. So he's a veteran in the game, knows his gaming. We got a lot of litany of topics. So PlayStation guys and you Sony guys, Nintendo guys, don't feel slighted. We're gonna have a ton of Nintendo topics to talk about. We're gonna have some Sony topics to talk. So check us out, 11 a.m. Eastern. On the Iron Lord Podcast YouTube channel. Obviously, you already know Flashpoint is here every Friday at 9 a.m. as well as on Ebontis' Twitch stream. Really appreciate the support. And we've just been trying to do a lot of game reviews. Snaldo, he's got something coming with Call of Cthulhu. We've got some streamers going on. I want to salute them as well, the stream team. We're just trying to make more content for you guys on Iron Lord Podcast channel. And but come out on Sunday, man. If you want to have some fun, hear me get ridiculous and in the realm of the
intros in the business.
Thank you, sir, for a lot of time into it.
Oh no, I know you do, but like everyone you guys listen to, they may have listened to the podcast before, but as soon as they're the one who gets the intro, everybody's just like, how do you follow that? You set the bar so high before they even get to speak, and then they're like, all right. Haug said it pretty well. He's like, can you just walk around with me all the time? Can I just hang you from my shirt pocket and you introduce me that way to all people? It's so good. So
yeah, man.
I was like, I love those. Everything. Like, trust me. When you listen to the podcast, like when they get into like the deep dives on those topics and like some of the knowledge those guys have, so good. So definitely check that one out, guys. Awesome stuff for me. Got a little free time this weekend, so probably going to be working on some solos. I'm working on that Hollowed Lair solo 100K run.
Nice.
I soloed it, but working on the 100K. And I just hate those. I've soloed it before. That like I've figured that kind of concept out, but it's just 100K with the points and timing is because the immunity phases is what kills it. That's why it's hard to solo, because it's like, oh, how long? I was like, it is such a frustration. I mean, there's a point where I can get through the first part. I can get up to the tank. If you run what I was saying, like Grenadier with 2 pulse grenades with a Titan, throw them on there, clear out the ads beforehand. I can stand on the platform, get it 90% of the way down, get the ads to spawn, then have no ads, have the tank walk out, throw both grenades, have him fall down, pull out whisper breathing, and kill him before he can get back up. So it was that's what I was going through. There were some people watching my Twitch stream the other night, and it wasn't a ton, but there were a few in there, and I was like, this is the research that goes into the videos you guys see. Like, this is the failing and all that stuff that goes in. So.
But it's so organic, man. You do such a good job, man. You really do. Fantastic, especially as a solo player. If you don't have a lot of people who rely on or any type of reliable clanmates and stuff like that, listen. That's no shame. I've used it about this guide, man. It really helps because he really gets you in that mindset, and he shows the human side as well as just breaking things down on a level that is understandable and efficient, and that's your strength. So you paint that picture, you get us in there. Bob Ross in it. Love it, man. Love it. Keep doing it with these guys, man. They're fantastic. Attic actually used one of yours too. He wanted to shout you out as well.
What?
Yes, Attic. He said, Charlie Barnes, you better keep doing this, man. This is good stuff.
Wow. I'll take that. There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys. It has been awesome this morning. We will wrap it up here. I know Iron Lord's podcast, he got his. For me, it's Ebontis everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all of that. EBONTIS. Search it. You'll find me. But other than that, guys, I do keep getting occasional requests on my comments about these getting on something like iTunes.
Yes, I've been seeing.
So we've got I was like, so we've got to actually look into that, and I will work on trying to do that. Maybe by years, I don't know what the process is and all that stuff, and maybe it's easier to put it on something like Podbean first and then Spotify. But iTunes, I know, has its like process, but that will be something I do want to work on. I basically have to go through and render out all the audio, make those separate files, find a place to stick them and go. But that is something for the rest of you guys, since you do enjoy that piece of it, so you can watch and just listen to it on your phone.
Absolutely.
That will be working in the future. Enjoy your meatball hunting, everyone. Next week is your 3rd week of the curse. Remember, Shattered Throne is back. If you haven't done it, go enjoy that thing. It's so cool. That's one of the pieces that still blows me away about Forsaken is that is in there. There's that that extra raid. There's like a raid and then another raid. It's so crazy. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you. Enough rambling out aside. You guys have been awesome. I think we're out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.